Hello everybody, welcome back. Today I got this 2004 GMC Yukon. So pretty much every Chevy truck and SUV, and just in the GMC version. And it's got no AC, and we're just gonna test it out and see what's going on and actually diagnose it. Yeah, I'll turn it on. Well, set for 60 degrees recirculation. It's definitely not blowing any cold air. It's hot out the front and then hot out the rear blower. So yeah, let's see what's going on under the hood. So we got no AC compressor clutch engagement. It's hard to see down there, but you can tell the pulley's just spinning and the clutch isn't engaging. So I'm gonna hook up some gauges and see what's going on, if we're just out of refrigerant or what. I can see a couple of leaks right here and here. This will have to be addressed after we figure out what the problem is. I got my gauges here. I'm gonna open the caps. There's a leak out of this straighter valve, it sounds like. I don't know if you can hear that with the engine running. These ones are the non-turning ones, just the quick connects, and they go straight on. So our pressures are sitting about right at 100, a little over 100. So it's definitely not out of refrigerant. So the compressor technically should be engaging. I'm going to try a little trick here to see if that's not the problem. I got this little jumper wire here. We're going to unplug the low pressure switch, just this tab down here. And I'm going to jump across it on the vehicle harness side and see if that does anything for us here. So I got my jumper harness in here and the terminals there. So when this is out of AC, the pressure switch opens, cutting the circuit off, and it tells the compressor not to engage. And our pressures haven't changed. The compressor's still not kicking on. Try to get a better view there. It's kind of, yeah, you can see kind of that compressor isn't turning. So that's clearly not our issue here. But normally when these Chevys, they'll drop between 10 or 15 degrees or PSI on the low side, and this switch will open up and kick off the compressor to kind of protect the system. So we'll plug this back in, and I'll get a scan tool and see what the computer's telling us. So I found that on my scan tool it was reading 350 PSI for the AC refrigerant pressure sensor, which is a little odd considering that the pressures were just sitting right around 100 degrees on our gauges. And it looked like the voltage for that, it was maxed out. So I'm gonna unplug our sensor here and make sure that we're sitting around, probably we want it to be 0 PSI with it open. So our sensor is just right here off the high side line out of the compressor. Sorry, it's a little hard to get your camera in here. But as you can see, it's just this 3-wire sensor right here. Okay, let's go check it out. So I'm connected to my car or SUV or truck or whatever you want to call this thing, and I had to find this AC pressure sensor data. I had to go into the engine side, down to data, and it was under this one, accessory electrical theft data. And I just scroll around, and AC request is on from our button here, but our AC relay command is off, and our high side pressure sensor voltage is 0, and our high side PSI is 0. It looks like there's a little voltage fluctuation there, but with it being only the maximum was 0.02, I'm not too concerned about it. I'm gonna go ahead and get one of these sensors coming and then see what that does for us. Before, when it was plugged in, it was reading like 4.5 volts and 350 high side PSI, which doesn't make much sense because our pressures are reading like 100 PSI on both sides with the compressor unengaged. So, and with the compressor not engaging, I wouldn't expect to even see that close, even with the compressor engaged. I would want less than 250. So I'm gonna get one of these sensors and I'm gonna throw it in. I'll show you guys how to put one of these in and see what that does for us. So there's my sensor again. I'm gonna try to get this 14mm wrench and unscrew that thing. So on these sensors, they make them so you can take them out and replace them without draining the AC, which is nice, because that would suck. Only had to give it like half a turn with the wrench. You hear it, there it is. That's it, that's our 3-wire sensor. I'll get the new one and throw it in there. So here's our sensor, Napa. There's the part number if you guys want it. The part was only like $55. It's kind of funny because the guy was kind of telling me, wow, it's an expensive part. Well, $55 for AC doesn't sound too bad if this fixes their problem. There we go, there's our... I already threw a new O-ring on this thing. One comes in the box for this. Got it on there. Yeah, now I'll just get that wrench back and I'll tighten it up and plug it back in and we'll see what happens. Only needed about a 1/8 of a turn with the wrench. Here's your connector. Back into our electrical or accessory electrical theft. Our AC relay command is on now. Our high side PSI is pretty high. AC's cold now though. Let's see what the turn our rear blower on. Oh yeah, it's cold now. See what's going on out there. Compressor's engaging now. See it in there. A little strange that our pressure sensor is reading like that, but our AC pressures look really good now. Our compressor's kicked on. It's all cold in the car, so I'm not going to be too worried about what that pressure reading is a little higher than what it says. And if our AC compressor's kicking on, then, you know, it could be because it's going through the condenser and it's higher coming out of the condenser and coming through our, right before our orifice tube. That might be why it's reading higher right out of there, lower over here. But I'm happy with what these pressures are reading on the gauge, and I'm sure that it's going to be a lot colder of a ride now. But thanks everyone for watching. I make these videos to try to make, you know, help people save money and help make their life easier by maybe not spending a ton of money on a compressor and wasting $500 at a shop just when you can get a $50 part. Sometimes just a little bit of troubleshooting can save a lot of money. Thanks everybody for watching.